everyone.
Hello, hello.
Welcome to our May check-in.
Yes.
Glad to be here.
Always glad to do check-ins.
Yeah. If you're new here, welcome. We do these once a month where we just kind of check in with each other on how things are going, loosely talking about things that are going well or things that are hard and trying to touch on self-care.
Yep, exactly. Yep. And we used to do those categories very carefully, and now we're kind of just like having a more natural conversation about it, because they do seem to kind of, meld into each other every once,
Oh yeah.
when we start talking, we're like, well, what's going well is kind of close to what's not going well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So
I was just gonna also just mention, we say every time we do a check-in, this is your nudge to check in with someone
Yes.
or with us, you know us.
Yeah.
But in real life or not in real life, in our Patreon group, we would always love to hear from you there. And also just maybe start this with somebody who you haven't had these conversations with them, and this is your opportunity to get started.
For sure. Hey, also before we start, Marin, should we talk about Casey's class?
Yes,
Because
that'd be great.
I think we're going to post that in the group anyway.
Yes.
So, okay, Casey O'Rourke, who is from Joyful Courage, she has a podcast, the Joyful Courage Parenting Podcast. She's been on our show before.
Mm-hmm. And we've been on her show.
So she is, first of all, parenting teens right now, currently. And that is become the focus of her business is supporting parents while they're parenting teens.
Yep.
And so she has a class starting next week for 6 weeks. Mm-hmm. So it meets every Tuesday night for 6 weeks, all about parenting teens. And we wanted to pass it along to you because it would be amazing. Yeah.
Casey's the most engaging person. I've taken her classes before, and it's just the time flies by.
Yeah.
And she's so great at explaining things. She's very direct and gets to the meat of what you need. Yeah. And she's so, and also just like the most encouraging. For sure. The most encouraging person. So like all of those factors just make it like you are going to get the biggest bang for your buck with this class.
Yeah. So I actually really want to take the class, but we're going to be gone the last couple class sessions. And I'm going to wait for the next one, but I am going to do it because also just like the focus time to actually think about it.
Yep. And to feel like you're not alone in this, it just feels really good to know. We just took Casey's free class last week, and it was great, especially for my husband. My husband joined, and just to know that the things we're experiencing here at home are not unique to our kids necessarily. These are a lot of universal things that we're all going through together, and that feels good.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can support each other through it. So
for sure. So we will put a link to that class in our show notes. We're affiliates, just to disclose that. Mm-hmm. So if you were to join, we'd get a little kickback. So, but we would want to promote it anyway.
We would.
Okay, let's start. Marin, do you want to get us started? Yeah. How are things going? So, what do you want to tell us?
It's complicated. Okay. I guess we could start every check-in with it's complicated, right? I mean, there are so many good things happening. I am so proud of my kids and Sean and I for, kind of laboring through this school year. We kind of trudged through some of it. And, for so many reasons. COVID, it was our first year of school, and mental health issues and I don't know, just huge adjustments all over the place, right?
For sure.
And so I'm just really proud of us, and that's what's going well. I just feel like we're still in the middle of it. We really are, I think. But I just see this kind of a new path, and I think it has a lot to do with our kids turning into teenagers too. Mm-hmm. So that's one reason why I'm always looking. I actually am always looking to Casey's podcast and resources for things right now, because she is where I look for teen advice. And I just have to say, turning our family is like turning into teenagers where they're 15, 13, 13, and 11. And while we have had a teenager for 2 years, it feels like the more the more kids who have come into this zone, it feels like just the whole shift in culture in our house.
I get it.
So while this is where it all melts together. It's tough. It's been tough. And I'm really proud of us. Like, we're turning into almost like this new family in some ways.
Yeah.
It does feel that way. So,
yeah. I understand that so
much. Thank you for saying that. I really do. That do get that.
I hear you. I think, it's so, gosh, for me, I don't think, okay, I know you're like a forward thinker. I am not. I like more focus on memories, but when you have young kids, when I had young kids, I never really thought that they would get older. I didn't really, logically I knew that if somebody were to ask me, right. But season you're in feels so long.
And when our kids were younger, when people said that, oh, they grow up so fast, the days are long, but what is it? The years are short, the days are long, whatever those phrases, I would be like, be quiet. Like, I cannot even hear that. I cannot hear that right now.
Yeah. Well, because the days are so long and the season feels never ending that you're like, this is going to be forever.
Yeah.
And so now that we're here, I feel like, wow, we're here.
We're here.
Yeah. What they said would happen happened.
Yep. Yep.
And it's really hard to believe. It's hard to believe. I feel the same about like me aging. To hear the rest of this episode, join us on Patreon at patreon.com/homeschoolunrefined. You'll unlock access to this episode and the rest of our Patreon episode archive.